Good to go? All right. Welcome, everybody, to Season 3, Episode 28 of Motivate Me 313's podcast. We are officially live and ready to get the show rolling on the road. Today, we are looking forward to another great show. We are excited for the people who are here as guests, and obviously, we are excited, as always, for the co-host as well. So first of all, let me give a shout out to the people who are in the building today, starting off with little big bro Yusuf Thabits. He's in the back on the ones and twos. We appreciate him as always. To the right of me, we got one of the co-hosts, little sis Sada Thabit. She's in the building, of course. You got myself, Omar T, and I know this chair is empty next to me, but my sister Abid will be coming soon, inshallah. So of course, Abid will be here as well. And then our guests for today, we have Yasmeen and Ibrahim Hamed. Go ahead and give them a round of applause, please, and thank you. You know, we have a great audience. They do a great job with giving round of applause at the right time, by the way. So I just want to give you a heads up. You could expect that throughout the show. Awesome. But yeah, we're looking forward to having a discussion with them. You know, we're going to be talking about, you know, what it's like, you know, with the you know, having someone in the family with disabilities, and, you know, why is there a taboo, you know, with that topic around our community. And we appreciate Yasmeen and Ibrahim for coming here today to have this discussion that's very important in our community. And we're going to just shed some light and just talk about everything else that we can to discuss about that topic. Before we do that, though, be sure to follow us on all of our socials. You have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under ozmedia. You'll be able to listen to this show later on Apple and Spotify podcasts under ozmedia. If you want to call in, you want to start a discussion or have a discussion, the number is 313-306-1750. Again, 313-306-1750. Shout out to the sponsors, the Balkan House, Juice Box, Qahwa House, BC Adhesives, Specialty Medical Center, and Hanley International Academy. Yusuf, we're going to start off with Specialty Medical Center, and then we're going to officially get the show on the road. So again, shout out to Specialty Medical Center and Yusuf and Madrahi and everybody over there at Specialty. All right, Yusuf. So, you know, the other day I was playing basketball with my friends, doing what I usually do on the court. But as I was driving to the lane, I kind of hurt my knee.
Oh, man, not again.
Yeah, but this time I knew which place to go to that would take care of me the best. And that is Specialty Medical Center. Specialty Medical Center is a medical center that prides itself on patient care and its rehabilitation services. Their primary focus is developing a customized treatment plan unique to each individual patient's needs. Their center offers a full range of patient care, from diagnostic testing, pain management, physical therapy, regenerative medicine solutions, and surgical care. They currently have 2 locations, one in Dearborn and one in Sterling Heights. So if you're looking for a place that treats your medical needs the best, be sure to stop by Specialty Medical Center. All right. All right, we are officially back and ready to get this show rolling. So first of all, let's obviously start off with the guests, and starting off with Yasmeen. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what it is that you do and anything you'd like to mention or share on the show.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having us, and it's honestly a privilege. So I'm a mother of 4. I've been in Detroit area for about 26 years now, since I've been married. I love our community, and I'm happy to be here with you guys and help discuss whatever you guys want to discuss, and hopefully get some more awareness about, you know, people with disabilities and acceptance and awareness.
Yeah, and so you said that you moved here. Where did you come from? I mean, I know you came to Detroit. Where did you come from?
So I was born in New York, but I was raised in Ohio, and I also lived in Amman for a few years as well. But I've been here for 26 now.
What part of New York?
Brooklyn.
Nice.
But I was very young when I came to Ohio.
So do you consider Michigan your home?
I do.
Nice.
I do.
That's important to share that, all right? All right, with that said, though, let's get the show rolling, basically. So tell us, you know, the story. Well, first of all, can we introduce Ibrahim in the building as well, by the way, if that's okay? Ibrahim, can you tell us, tell us a little bit about your life? Like, what do you do on a daily basis, about going to school and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy school, Ibrahim?
Yes.
Something your mom was telling me when you got here is, do you do your own podcast as well?
Yes.
What do you usually talk about?
I talk about podcast.
Nice. Shout out to Ibrahim. What grade are you in, Ibrahim?
12th grade.
What?
He's not. He's actually in a day program for adults for 18 to 26.
Okay.
and he goes to a school in Lincoln Park called Mixter, and it's for it's a transitional school for adults until they transition out of school at 26.
Nice. Are you enjoying Ibrahim? You like it?
Yeah.
He loves his school. They're really cool. They do like a lot of. He works at Save a Lot. What do you do at Save a Lot, Ibrahim?
I greet people.
Talk in the microphone.
I greet people.
Greet people, and what do you tell them?
Hi, welcome to Silvad. How are you?
That's awesome. And you know what? Where is that location at Save a Lot? I feel like that those closed all over.
No, they have some. I honestly won't disclose where he works.
Okay.
But-
Okay. No problem. No problem. Well, thank you so much. All right. We already got somebody saying, "Oh, that's awesome." So shout out to Ibrahim and shout out to Yasmeen. We appreciate you. So let's dive right into it. Tell us about the story. You know, we're gonna start off from the beginning. You know, when you found out that Ibrahim, you know, had cerebral palsy and also autism. If you want to dive into that.
So Ibrahim had a rough entrance into the world. I was actually septic with him, and he almost died in my stomach. And they had to take him out by an emergency C-section. And when he was born, he wasn't breathing, and he had a very faint pulse. And he was intubated for over 7 days. And then little by little, you know, they would tell us like, you know, he might not do this, he might not do that. But it was like we didn't know because they didn't know. So when he was at about 11 months. We took him to get like a second opinion, and she diagnosed him, that doctor at the time, with cerebral palsy. And enabled for him to be able to get therapy and such, he had to be labeled so that we can get him into physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and we started from 11 months old.
Allah Shafi, and that's so. Basically, what was, when you found out about the news, like what was the initial reaction of your reaction, and obviously the family's reaction?
I fell to the ground. It was very upsetting. I mean, I knew something wasn't right because his milestones were late. And at the time I was a psych minor, and I would go through my psych books to see what kids were supposed to be doing at certain times because I was a first-time mom. And he was doing everything but very late. And as he got older, the gaps got bigger. I ended up, I fell apart once we got the diagnosis, but my husband said, you know, he's Ibrahim and we love him the way he is, whatever he is, as long as he's happy. So that's when I became, like, I got an acceptance. Like, I just said, okay, halas, this is what it is. I have to, you know, work on this. So right away I got him into therapy, and we've been doing every type of therapy that's been given or thrown my way. I've drove hours for a half-hour horseback riding. I've lived in Utica for weeks at times for alternative therapies. So whatever was out there, I tried it and I did it. Alhamdulillah, like, you know, he walks now, he talks, you know, so with the cerebral palsy, you know, we started working as much as we can, and he did well. And then when he was about 3.5, you know, I started questioning. He was turning on and off lights a lot, doing some like odd things. And once again, I went back to those psych books and I looked up, you know, autism wasn't prevalent like it is now. It's not talked about. It's so it was harder. And we didn't have the internet, right? I know it sounds so archaic, but we didn't have, you know, an internet to pick up and type in autism and find resources. So I had to dig. So he was labeled autistic. And then that also was a knock. And then we started therapy when he was close to 5. And that's called applied behavioral therapy. It's a controversial therapy, but I believe in it, and I believe that's what helped teach Ibrahim how to read, sequence, organize, do multiple tasks.
Why is it controversial?
Because a lot of people think it's a type of, it's a lot of repetitive. It's kind of like robotic, they say, but it works on every type of behavior. So to teach him how to read, I'd say, okay, this is A. What sound does it make? Ah. So you do that over and over. And if they make a mistake, you keep going. If they do well, you reward them. So some people think it's kind of torturous for children. But to be honest with you, I've been, like, it's what's taught Ibrahim so much. And I've been with parents that their children never said a word and said their first word during the therapy.
Kind of brings structure.
It does. Because most people with autism need routine. They're very structured. They like things a certain way. Like Ibrahim, like, it's a running joke. He's my walking calendar. So he knows everything that's on there. He knows the times. He can tell you when we traveled, what dates we traveled in the past years ago. He could tell you what day he was in a certain restaurant years ago, and who he was with. People ask me, they're like, oh, when is this? I'm like, I don't know, ask Ibrahim, because he memorizes all. So, alhamdulillah, we did AB therapy for quite some time, and we did it again as he was a young adult. And I think it was amazing, and I really do suggest parents try that and see what's best for them. Unfortunately, autism isn't a clear-cut.
When is your birthday?
Hey, so hold on, Brian. Before we do that, I actually want to do this. It's okay if we do this live, Yasmeen?
Oh, of course.
So, hold on. So, go, you can sit.
No, go ahead.
But wait 1 second. So, Ibrahim, when I walked in here, he asked me when was my birthday, and I told him. So, listen to what he did, and I need you to pull out your phone, and I need you to pull out your phone to confirm, okay?
Okay, let's do
so,
it.
as Yasmeen was just saying, mashallah, he did, Allahumma barak, like he really knows his numbers and he memorizes dates. So, he just asked Abir, who just walked in late to her job as, so I was messing around. All right, so he just asked Abir, when is her birthday? So, what did you say?
December 15th.
And what day?
It's a Sunday, and yours?
It's a Sunday. Can you check it right quick?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hold on, Ramsey. Hold on.
Hold on.
December 15th.
Oh, hold on.
Check it right quick.
What's wrong with me? I'm like, calendar. No.
Bro, you got a calendar app,
Yeah,
Abby.
I got it. I got it. I'm good. It's loading.
And
What kind of app is that?
Stop.
That's a Google app.
Okay, it's my calendar. I got it. December 15th is a Sunday.
Sunday, mashallah.
Claps.
Yeah, go ahead and give that a round of applause, man. October 21.
It's a Monday.
Yes.
How do you not
yes,
have it
see,
ready?
that's- I have ready. It is.
A Monday. Go ahead and give that a round of applause. Mashallah. Allahumma barak, man. That's
right.
That's awesome. Yeah. So shout out to you, man, Ibrahim. But I don't know if you were done going
Yeah,
on. I know
sorry.
kinda,
No, that's just
for
that
cutting you off.
we did therapy, and here we are today. We're just trying to make Ibrahim, the best he can be and live a happy life and healthy, and alhamdulillah.
So he's your oldest.
My oldest, yeah.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I know you were talking about it, but a little bit about how he's been coping with it. But maybe you want to talk about that a little bit more. Like maybe, what were some of the milestones that were happening, throughout his life, and where is he at now in terms of coping with it all?
Right. So he didn't walk till almost 3 years old. And everything I told you was late.
Yeah.
So the flipping over, the sitting up, the walking, the crawling, then the walking was late. And then once we got him, doing more and more things, we did a lot of therapy and we worked as hard as we could with him. I left really no stone unturned when it came to him. We did alternative therapies that they do in Hungary. We did research studies where he wore a full body girdle. Where he would do 9 hours of therapy a week. The only thing I really didn't dabble is in medications because they one time gave him something to help him focus, but he was bouncing off the walls until 3 a.m. So when I said, what do I do? They're like, oh, you give him this medicine to calm him down. I'm like, I'm just not going to do that to him. It was just too much. Not that I'm saying parents should do that. It just didn't work for us.
Yeah.
So the problem it's not a problem, but the issue is, it's not clear cut, right? So what works for me isn't going to work for another child that has autism. So it's not clear cut. They're not a cookie cutter, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I just tried everything I could: play therapy, ABA therapy, physical therapy, occupational speech. I did whatever I could and tried to see what would work with him. Where I have some parents that tell me they put their kids on certain diets and that helped them. So each person, works with what they can. One isn't better than the other. Mm-hmm.
So my wife is tuning in, and she said December 13th, Ibrahim. She just wanted to see if you can get December 13th as well. What day does December 13th land on?
Friday.
Friday is correct. I'm looking at it right here. Mashallah, Friday, December 13th. Her birthday is on Friday the 13th this year, but no, mashallah, that is...
Don't freak her out.
she's going to now be worried about it.
No, I was 13 on the 13th.
Nice.
Yeah. On a Friday too. That was the whole point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Triple.
That just ended right there, the coolness of that. All right, but no, thank you for sharing that. And I want to ask, Ibrahim, what are some things that like you feel like he's really strong at, or if something that's that feel like really sticks out? I mean, obviously, then other than just knowing these dates, is there other things as well?
So typically, autistic people aren't always that social, but he loves people. He loves being out in the community. He loves talking to people. He loves being around people. So that's, I think, one of his things. He really, like, you can't help but love him. I mean, he's just a ray of sunshine, honestly. Like, in our community, like, especially with exposure of the social media aspect that we have, he's just well loved everywhere, and he's known everywhere. It's really cool, honestly. He, of course, he doesn't understand that he's famous, but he loves talking to people and when they stop to take pictures with him, he loves it. So it's pretty,
What's his favorite thing to do?
But I'm probably good. What do you like enjoy the most, Ibrahim?
What do you
love?
doing?
Yeah, what do you love doing?
Hanging outside.
Nice. What do you do outside usually?
Since it's a nice day outside.
Nice.
Yes, I like nice days too.
That's very good. I like enjoying beautiful days outside.
So
too.
we have a swing outside for him, and like all the neighbors know him. Yesterday we were at a tennis game for my daughter, and some guy's like, "Oh my God, I always see him outside."
Aww.
So he loves, and like all our friends and the neighbors, will stop to talk to him, and he chit chats with everybody. So I say he should run for office because everybody, loves him.
So it's funny that you say that, because you said that he doesn't know that he's a celebrity. Are you sure? Because I know a guy who's great with a camera, and this guy right here is great with the camera and also great in public. So I don't know. He might know that he's the man.
Do you know you're the man?
No, that's awesome. We appreciate you for doing this. And so I guess my next question is overall, like, how has the family kind of come together, and and maybe even giving advice for other families too? Like, how can they, and how has your family done, and how maybe that can also help other families with like coming together and kind of working together throughout this situation?
Oh, definitely. I mean, my parents are my backbone. Ibrahim's actually obsessed with my parents. He calls them his parents, and they've been there with me through thick and thin. From day one, when we thought he wasn't going to make it, they had told my husband to look into funeral arrangements when he was born. So my parents have been like literally with us from day one. My husband's family, same thing. They're all so supportive. Everybody, like I said, Ibrahim is just like the light of the family, of both sides, honestly. I used to have my breakdowns, and when I was younger and he was younger, and it would get like hard for me, and I would like sit and cry about it, and my mom would swoop in, take him for a few days, give me a break. But alhamdulillah, like, you get used to it, you accept what Allah's given you, and you learn to say alhamdulillah. At the time you're suffering, and you're in that grief of not having a typical or normal child in that aspect. I hate to use that word, but you grieve it, and you worry always about their future. If something happens to you, this is a special needs parent's worst nightmare. And but I think in the end, you just have to put it up for Allah, right?
Yeah, tawakkal.
Yeah, you just tawakkal and know that you're doing everything you can, and after that, it's always Allah's way, right?
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I have 4.
Oh, mashallah. He's the oldest. How old is he?
He's 24.
He's 24. And then how old are your other?
I have Muhammad is 22.
Okay.
My daughter Emily is 17.
Okay.
And the youngest is 12. Jamil.
Mashallah, Mubarak.
Thank you.
Allahumma barak. This is just the beginning of us getting to know Yasmeen and Ibrahim. We're going to take a quick break and give a shout out to our next sponsor, which is going to be the Balkan House. And then we are going to keep things rolling. So shout out to the Balkan House and Juma and everybody over there. And we're going to keep things rolling right after.
You know what, Yusuf, man? I'm in the mood for some Balkan food.
Yeah, man, me too.
Well, there's no better place to go for Balkan than the Balkan House restaurant. The Balkan House restaurant is famous for their doner kebab sandwiches. But did you know that the Balkan House now serves breakfast? Did you also know that all their food is 100% halal? There are currently 2 Balkan House locations, but they now also have 2 food trucks, so you can book your next party or event with the Balkan House on wheels. If you're looking for a nice place to eat with friendly service and great prices, look no further than the Balkan House restaurant.
Ramadan?
I did for Tarawih and stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
There was I spoke. You look like her. I don't know if it's hurt you or not. I didn't ask your name, but we sat next to each other. It was during Fajr. Like
Do you have autistic child? No.
no, but I'm divorced. I didn't have that long of a conversation.
What did you being divorced have anything?
No.
I mean,
Get back.
Woman I spoke to.
No, there was one I sat with. Like, it was during after Fajr. Oh my God, we're like already alive.
Maybe it might have been.
And I'm like, and I sat next to you, and then you didn't say till Baha because you had to go get your kids ready.
He gets ready.
Yeah.
Well,
So maybe that was I'm like, you look so familiar.
Yeah, I did do a few
Subhanallah.
pictures there.
Yeah.
so that was so funny.
Yeah. I don't know why.
You did not think they were back on? Okay, so basically, first of all, Ibrahim obviously deals with everything with courage and resilience. And, a question I wanted to ask you is like, did your viewpoint on life change when all this happened? And if so, how?
Absolutely. In the beginning, it was why me, right? What did I do? Did I talk or make fun of somebody with special needs? Did I, you start questioning, like, is Allah punishing me?
Is this your test? Or?
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't there yet because I know He is my test. I know that now.
Okay.
But when I was younger and my faith was lacking, and you're grieving, you're questioning, like, why? Why is everyone living this normal life, and my life is taking to therapy and dealing with his little oddities and stuff like that.
I'm sorry. How old were you when you had him?
I was don't ask.
Okay, never mind.
No, not about my age. It's already Al Jazeera just did a article on me, and they busted out with my age within the first few lines. I'm
Dang. For what?
but I was 22, I think, or 20, almost 20.
So yeah, you were young.
So I was young, and like I said, when it's your first child, you really don't know what to expect.
100%.
So I was devastated, right? I mean, but also I was so thankful that he lived because I thought he wasn't going to make it. But as the issues started coming up, and I would be upset and I would cry, and then subhanAllah, like, okay, he has cerebral palsy. Okay, then Allah threw at me autism. I'm like, oh my God. Then I was still upset and crying. Then he started having seizures, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? Let me stop this depression or feeling sorry for myself. I wasn't in depression, but it was depressing.
Yeah.
So I said, I have to accept this. I have to learn this is my test. Allah wants this for me, and I have to look at it as a blessing. And once I changed my attitude, things opened up. And subhanAllah, ever since Ibrahim was born, good things have come to me. Good people have come to me. Everybody, like, when I would go to therapy, I would go drive down Southfield. He used to do therapy at Children's Hospital in Novi. And I would be crying for myself and crying for him. And my cousins and friends are out having lunch and just going to the mall, and I'm doing therapy. And then I'd get there, and then I see the mom who has a child who can't walk, who's in a wheelchair. And then I would just hide behind the magazine and cry for that mom. So, like, I had to learn, like, Allah always, like, checked me. Like, say hamdallah, say hamdallah. So even when you have a child I know people are looking at me and saying, I wish my son or my daughter was like Ibrahim. I get messages all the time on social media. My child's nonverbal. I wish he would call me mama. I wish he'd call me by my first name, I wish he'd tell me he loves me or any of those things. So you learn to say alhamdulillah, and you learn to accept what was given to you. And even if your child is nonverbal, there's somebody else who maybe their child has worse. So you always have to say alhamdulillah, and I really believe that.
For sure.
Ibrahim, do you love your mom, Ibrahim?
Yeah,
Why do you love your mom, Ibrahim?
because I love her.
There you go.
Abooks, yalla.
You're the man. You're the man, Ibrahim. I love your hoodie too, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love your hoodie.
You got style, Ibrahim. So let's now move on to the actual topic of autism or cerebral palsy, or just in general any kind of disability in general. Why do you feel like that our community is so afraid to talk about these kind of topics?
I think that it's ignorance, right? I think it's ignorance. I think we're not educated enough. I think that, it kind of goes back to some of the feelings I had, like, what did I do that I had a child with special needs? And I think a lot of Arab, unfortunately say, like, what did she do? They don't look at it as the blessing that Allah gave us.
Like more of like a punishment. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah.
Like a punishment
Or like
or she did something wrong
during her
or-
pregnancy
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would hide their kids that had special needs. I mean, as Ibrahim was younger, he would go to the kahwa house with my dad, right? Not the actual kahwa house, but shout out to kahwa house.
Shout out to Kahwa House.
Yes.
One of our sponsors.
Yes. But to the coffee, you know, where the guys would play cards and have coffee, and he would go with my dad, and people would come up to my dad and say, I have a child, hick, like I don't take them out. We don't do anything with them. We keep them at home. And my dad's like, why? This is an angel. This is an angel in between us. Allah gave us an angel. So, of course, you should, accept him, and you should, and that's the problem, because our people don't take our kids out. They don't, show them the community or get them involved in the community. And Ibrahim loves being in the community. Even the lectures I go to at the ICD, Ibrahim's in the front row. And alhamdulillah, like a lot of the kids that have autism, it's hard for them to sit that long. But if they are able to, we need to bring them to the mosque. We need,
Yes.
they're a barakah. And we need to have them involved, and we need to show people that they have their special needs, but they're just people, right?
Yeah.
And they're their own normality, and we have to learn to accept them. It's not they shouldn't have to change for us. We should change.
100%.
And I truly believe anybody that has Ibrahim in their life, they are privileged, because he's an angel, and if he loves you, you're a very lucky person.
Oh.
And he has his circle of people, and alhamdulillah, like we're very lucky. And I wish others had the support we had, whether it's family or community. It's very important. And through Ibrahim's social media, the community, even before the community, he's had, we have amazing neighbors, the acceptance, like, he goes to Detroit Furniture, and they have him, and they let him do whatever he wants. They take him for rides in his trucks. We'll go to Taboos as a light. They're giving him ice creams, iceberg, whatever he wants. They make stuff that isn't even on the menu for him. You're welcome. And so, like, the community is what makes our life easier.
Mom, are you going to my baby shop tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are you having
Yes.
dinner?
No. We're listening. We're doing a podcast, buddy.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So these are all things that, we need to bring them into the mosques. We need to get them more involved. Us as a community, we need to accept them. Maybe help a mom or a dad that has a special needs child and give a lending hand or a smile. Some people, we need to teach our kids too. Like, if you see someone different, say hi. Don't stare. Just say hi. And, I've been in a place where Ibrahim was at he was very young. He wasn't walking yet. He did a commando crawl, and a lady said, "Oh, lish ibnik hek." Like, why is your son like that?
That was one of my questions. I was about to hit you with, did you ever have a moment?
Yeah. And she's lucky she caught me on a good day, because my friend that was with me wasn't so happy, and she wanted to, like, go all out on her. I said, don't. I said,
Ignorant.
She's just ignorant. And I told her, Allah made my son this way. And we love what Allah gives us. And, she just looked at me. She didn't know what to say.
Yeah, after
afterwards.
that, it's like...
But so as Muslims, right, we need to open our hearts more, open our brains more, and know that Allah has given, just like Allah made us, they made these special people to test us, to see what we'll do, how we'll help. And people don't realize you're not guaranteed to have healthy children, right? Or even if you have 1 million healthy children, they're not guaranteed to stay that way. So we always should be appreciative. We should always be helpful to those who have special needs, whether they're children or adults or elderly. And we have to teach our kids to be kind and not stare. Or, I used to say, alhamdulillah, Ibrahim didn't understand that people were staring at him when he had his AFOs, the casts and stuff like that. He didn't understand, but his brother did, and he didn't like that people would look at him, or when he stems or makes noises and stuff.
So I do want to say nowadays, like when I went to school back in the day, there wasn't as much inclusion in the classroom. But like I taught first grade for a couple years, and now I'm in 5th grade. When I taught first grade, I had, a couple of students that had disabilities, and the kids are more accepting because they're in the classroom.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like they knew to help. They knew to, subhanallah, like it was like a system. They knew how to take care of, him with me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get jealous if he had things that were special or extra or whatever. Like they knew, like subhanallah. So definitely them being in the classroom helps the students understand. But like when I grew up, we never had anyone in our classrooms.
Yeah, but it's also a testament to you as a teacher, because you treating that special needs child good teaches other kids. So kids do what they see.
That's true.
So, when my youngest, there was a big difference. He's 12 and Ibrahim's 24. When he was 2, and Ibrahim wears size 13 shoes. So he would come, he could barely carry himself. He'd carry Ibrahim's shoes and sit and try to help him. But why is he like that? Because he would see us do it. So as parents, it's important for us to teach our children to be kind, to be gentle. And our children copy us.
That's true.
And even with Ibrahim, with his grandfather that might have a hard time getting up, Ibrahim goes, he gets the cane, he helps him up. Why? Because he's seen how we do it. And I have a friend that has a son that's special needs. He's autistic, and she said, "How did you teach your older kids to care for Ibrahim? Not the younger kids to care for Ibrahim." And I said, "It's just we never told them, oh, you have to take care of Ibrahim. No,
Your phone.
okay, it's not that it's because they watched us."
Yeah.
It's just like how when you're good to your parents, your kids will be good to you.
Yes.
It's just a big circle.
Those are all some great points right there.
This might be a personal question. When you decided to have more children, were you nervous or were you?
I was going to ask that.
Great question.
I was frantic. I got pregnant with my second son, Hamed. There's 21 months between them, and honestly, it was by accident because
Okay.
to do it again to myself, to go through. I had a very traumatic delivery. I felt them cut me. I wasn't even under yet. I literally told my mom, I wish I could die till Ibrahim came out of the hospital. So when I had Mohammed, they wanted to have me under a close watch. So they had me come in and they were going to induce me. And so nothing was happening yet. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed, nothing's going on. And I tell my mom, I said, "Mom, I'm going to pass out." I said, "I need oxygen." So my mom tells the nurse, "My daughter needs oxygen." And she says, "Well, nothing's happened yet. She's fine." And I said, "Mom," and I was out because of that anxiety of going through that. So every time with the last 3 kids, I was induced so that I can be controlled, the whole thing controlled. Each time before anything happened, I'd have to have oxygen because I would have so much anxiety that I would pass out. So, but alhamdulillah, I mean, it is hard because you don't know, you're not guaranteed. I know somebody has 3 autistic children. I mean, you're not guaranteed, right?
Right. And then also having a newborn and also taking care of, someone that is special needs. It's a lot to juggle as well.
We're not going to do it. No, we're going to watch. We're going to play with it after we go home. Okay? Yeah, I mean, when I had my youngest, 1 second, Ibrahim. No. Okay, you have to keep it on mute, okay? When I had my youngest, I left my kids at the house. My second oldest was old enough, but I left Jamil, the youngest, in the playpen, and I literally ran up the street to Jets to grab pizza and come home. I came home and found a pillow on top of the baby because he was crying, and Ibrahim doesn't like to hear crying. So I had to learn the really hard way, that,
for sure.
So it was hard because I was juggling having a newborn, not sleeping, then having to get up and, take care of him. So in a way, I'm always going to have a baby. I mean, he's a big baby. He's 6'2" baby, but, I still do his hygiene for him. I shower him. Technically, he probably could try to do it on his own, but he's not going to be able to, because of the cerebral palsy, get in, to do the hygiene that we want him, or to brush his teeth the way it needs to be brushed. I shave him. Actually, I shaved him before we came because I didn't have time last night. So I'm like, come on, let's shave. And that in its own is a feat because he has a lot of sensory issues.
Yeah.
So I have to talk to him about what's going on to keep him busy so he doesn't feel that buzzing, because electric shaver on his skin. So, but alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
May Allah tub like you're gonna like I'm telling you right now, you're going to heaven.
You know,
Like I'm gonna
Drag me with you.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
So I do. Allah loves me.
100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Allah loves me. He's constantly putting good people in my way. I went to the Umrah in November, and it was really difficult for me to decide to go to the Umrah because I wasn't muhajjaba. And I said I wasn't ready for hijab. And I have great friends that I met. I have before and after. Great people around me who supported me and have always supported me. And I came home and in Turkey on the way home, I took it off. I was having an anxiety attack about the hijab, like because all this pressure.
Yeah, everybody has their journey.
Right, and this pressure about wearing it. And I started splashing water on my face, and I'm in Turkey. And, I knew the disappointment some of my new sisters from Umrah would have because I took it off. But I did it, right? I took it off. I came home. You're already in depression because you were at your peak of Iman.
Yeah. It's like it's a whole, like you're in a bubble when you're there.
You're living to pray, right?
Yeah.
You're living, you're eating, you don't barely eat, honestly.
Yeah.
You're living to pray. And it was beautiful.
It's easy there.
It's beautiful. You don't even think about it. You just want to do your salah. You want to get that closeness to Allah. And I was doing the tawaf and I look up at the Kaaba and I'm like, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
I used to say, when I'm older, I'll do this. And I'm like, okay, you're older now. You better do something. Right. But I and my husband, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen, the most supportive man, the best father, he said, Yasmeen, do what you got to do. If you feel you're ready and you can do it whatever is the easiest for you.
I like that.
And I told him, should I take Jamil? Should I take Muhammad? I wasn't going to take him because it'd be difficult because I couldn't stay with him for Salah.
For the guy side, yeah, for sure.
He's like,
How
no.
are you?
Shh, Ibrahim. Oh, God.
Make my Facebook on your cousin.
He's not checking up. No, we're done.
Hey,
It's okay. Honestly, he's fine.
He's answering phone calls. It's
Oh,
okay.
that's funny.
So, Ibrahim.
my phone.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe we should include him in the conversation.
No, he's just okay, we're not going to answer her right now. So don't answer the phone or I'm going to take it.
No.
So when I got back, I felt bad about it, and finally I set the date, first day of Ramadan, in my head. I'm doing it, and I was the night before Ramadan. I was heart palpitations, and I was like.
Can I ask
sweating.
you what made you like nervous about finally wearing it? The pressure of wearing it, or like what? Do you feel like that? Khalas, like once you wear it, you can't.
Well, when you wear the hijab, you're a symbol of Islam.
Okay.
And it's a big job, right?
Yes, you're right.
You're a symbol of your deen. You're a symbol of women. You're a symbol of
Your family, your
you're
culture, your
and,
background.
and I was so afraid. Am I going to mess up? Am I going to, what? Am I going to do it the right way? And I wanted to do it the right way. And my friend told me, she's like, nothing's going to happen at midnight.
Like, we all make mistakes, even if we wear that. Like, it's Allah's mercy.
Right.
He's merciful. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Allah Ghafurun Rahim, right? And it's fine, but like I started. My daughter's like, Mom, do you want to go shopping? For hijabs? Do you want to talk about it? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to shop. My friend came over. She's like, let's go to Kroger. I'm like, I'm not going to Kroger. She's like, take out the garbage. I'm like, I'm not taking out the garbage. Finally, this third day I went. And I was like, okay, I told my daughter, I'm like, Emily, let's go to Kroger. And I put it on and I walked out and I'm like, oh my God, everyone's staring at me. Nobody was staring at me.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so privileged here in
Right,
Dearborn.
right,
You
right.
walking out and we're among, a diverse, there's muhajjabeen everywhere.
Yeah,
There's all
for
walks of life. So we're very, it's really not that big of a test. But alhamdulillah, I did it. I embraced it. And I have a great sense of calmness now. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's beautiful.
MashaAllah. Can we get a round of applause for
Yeah,
that?
that was a whole great story.
Thank you.
Listen, I'm trying to go back to you
I'm
said
sorry,
they
the tangent.
No, I'm saying you said they caught you on a good day. What does Yasmeen on a bad day? That's what I want to know. What Yasmeen's throwing,
Mama bear.
throwing
That's Mama
hands,
bear.
throwing
Yeah.
stuff
Rawr.
at beating
Well-
somebody up or what?
Well, so my kids joke. They're like, when they see me go, crazy or whatever. And I don't want to say crazy, but like, when I go into my Yasmeen
Protective
mode,
mode.
they're like, record that on TikTok, Mom. Because I really, people are like, oh, you're so patient. I'm not that patient. My husband, the patience my husband has is phenomenal. He takes calls from Ibrahim 20 times a day. The same conversation has to be said, the same responses my husband has to give. And my husband acts like it's the first time they talked. So it's amazing. So for me, my family and friends know this. My patience very limited, and all patience I have has to go for him. I don't have patience for stupidity. I don't have patience for drama. So I'm not. So even Ibrahim knows how to press my buttons. But we're a very sarcastic family. We always like to mess with each other. But yeah, I mean, if you catch me on the wrong day, it's things will happen.
There you go. I just want to make sure people are warned out there. You know what I'm saying? Shame Mustafa said, love you, Yasmeen and Ibrahim, by the way. I don't know if you know this
Yes.
specific. Okay.
Yes.
So
Thank you
I
for
get
that.
my other question going off of that, how it's a taboo topic within our community is like, how can people have a conversation, maybe even with, their own family or cousins or someone where it's not like, being, I guess I don't want to use the word disrespectful, but being, rude or something where, it's comfortable for both sides where the person, who may have the disability can talk about it. And also the people who, that are close to that person can help them or guide them. Like, how can that conversation be something that is something that, that is allowed where it's comfortable, everyone's comfortable talking about it?
I think the problem is not every family is the same. So I'm lucky in the aspect that my parents and my husband's family were, are advocates with us, and they stood with us, and they helped, they helped us feel like we're doing enough. Where you have sometimes other families, I mean, I had a mom message me that she didn't tell her family yet that her son has cerebral palsy and that he also had autism, and she didn't tell them. I said, can't they tell something's wrong? She's like, I really don't let them see my son. And I said, you need them. You need your family, because without your family and someone maybe to give you a little break, even if it's for an hour, to have a little me time, you need that. And you need that help. You need that support. And honestly, a lot of my support is also through moms that I met at therapy. I always, like when I get messages from different moms or dads that have special needs, you just have this automatic friendship, because even though we all have different lives and different issues with our children, there's this automatic camaraderie that, like, we know that the struggle of a special needs parent. And I have friends that don't have special needs kids, but they try to understand. So if you have somebody that does have a child with special needs, just try, maybe not, they don't want to talk about it as a parent, but like, let that parent know, hey, I'm here for you. If you need me, I'm here. Drop off a meal to this family. Say, if you can babysit their children for an hour for the mom and dad to go on date night. These are all, those little things will add up. And just know, like, that they're there for you. Like, my bestie lives next to me, Jemana, and she knows Ibrahim likes to go for those rides. So even if she's driving up to the pharmacy, she'll say, hey, let me take Ibrahim for a ride. One of my friends, her husband did a coupon, and it's on her refrigerator. It has her husband's name on it, and it's call me when you need an ice cream. So if Ibrahim feels like going out for ice cream, he dials this number, and my friend's husband picks him up and takes him out for ice cream. So these little things add up. And even if Ibrahim doesn't call that person, just knowing, me as a parent knowing, it means a lot to me.
Oh, yeah.
So, and alhamdulillah, like I said, our community is amazing. My husband was out to lunch with Ibrahim, and even before he became like TikTok famous or Instagram famous, my husband's like, our bill was paid, ice cream was being sent over, and French fries. So somebody that knew Ibrahim and what he likes. Those little things, they go a long way, especially for a special needs parent.
For sure. No, I know a couple people that don't like taking out their children, and they like their family, like their close family know about it, but I never knew it. Like, there was one girl that I never knew she had a special needs child. I never knew until they were enrolled in our school, and I'm like, I never knew, And I would have, when they realized that people are actually willing to help and do those things, like it's a lot easier. But
It's our community though. I mean, like our taboo, you know, where we don't want to discuss it, and a lot of people are still in that situation where they just don't want to.
They are,
address
but
it.
let's give a little though. We have come away.
Yeah, we have.
Right. We have Blue Hands United now. You know, they're there for us. They do like Sunday. We're going right, Ibrahim. We're going Sunday. They have something for the kids and all like families. Next Sunday from 2 to 6 at the Civic Center. We enjoy going. They do like a thing for the adult kids where they go to, like they went to Malik Kebab and then they went to Antonio's one time where we drop off the kids. They give the kids each their own wallet with money in it so they feel independent. The parent isn't helicoptering on top of them, and you're not allowed to even go in with your kid actually. And they learn how to order for themselves and they pay for themselves. Really cute things. So let's give our community, you know, that little bit of an award, I would say.
Yeah,
or, you know,
sure.
Is there a long way to go? Absolutely. You know, but we have come a long way.
And isolation does not help.
No, it doesn't. And we shouldn't be ashamed of them. Is there times where I left crying somewhere? Yeah, I have. And in fact, it happened a couple of weeks ago. And that hasn't happened to me in a long time. And I felt bad, and you know, I went home crying, and then I found out my friend that has an autistic son, she went home crying from her party too, and we talked about it, and we, you know, cried about it together because she understood it like I did, you know, because sometimes, like, I won't take Ibrahim, and alhamdulillah, I don't have anyone in my life that isn't accepting of Ibrahim. Honestly, he's the best judgment of people. And if he loves
filters
you,
them out for you.
And subhanAllah, he knows who really loves him. He, you know, like our neighbors, she hates when I call her neighbor, but my friend Jumana and her husband, like Ibrahim kisses their head every night. When we're, like, say we're hanging out, he kisses their head and tells them good night. You know, these little things, and they're not even related to us.
Yeah.
You know, these little things come a long way. You know, I met some new friends and they said, come over. I'm like, okay, can I bring Ibrahim? They're like, why are you asking? Because, you know, he's a man, right? And, you know, I said, you know, and then I come and I find my friend sitting on the couch and he's looking through her phone and they're discussing the pictures. These little things, subhanAllah, like, I'm lucky. Alhamdulillah. Allah loves me. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Allah definitely loves you.
Alhamdulillah.
And even your whole family. I
Alhamdulillah.
know they're all doing a great job as well. So, you know, keep up the great work with that. We are going to take a quick ad break, and then we are going to talk about those social media stars that we have here. Yasmeen and Ibrahim, we're going to dive into that because we haven't even talked about that yet. And we're going to talk a little bit about Heal Palestine. You know, we want you to talk about that
absolutely.
as well. So, Yusuf, go ahead and give a shout out. Since she mentioned Qahwa House, let's give a shout out to Qahwa House, and then we're going to keep the show rolling.
You know, if you're ever in need of some coffee, then you have to stop by the best place in the country. You know what that is, Yusuf?
Yeah, man, it's gotta be the Qahwa House.
It's definitely the Qahwa House. It's the first Yemeni coffee shop of its kind. You can stop by Qahwa House to try their famous Yemeni lattes, Adani Shahis, Mafawad, and Jubani coffees. You can also stop by to try their delicious pastries, such as the Yemeni favorite sabaya, everything mini bites, and they even serve sambusas. They have locations in Michigan, New Jersey, New York, and Illinois, with more locations coming to a state near you. So no matter where you're at in the country, be sure to stop by Qahwa House and get a glimpse of what the Yemeni culture is all about. Also, don't forget to download the new Qahwa House app. You can now order your coffee and go, skipping the line entirely. It's like having your own personal barista.
All right, we're officially back and ready to keep the show rolling. First things first, let me just read off a couple comments. So we got, I hope I don't say this wrong because I'm terrible with this, but we got Fedda Mansour Abdul Haq. She said, Salam from Albuquerque, Yasmeen's sister, Fedda.
Oh,
All right, so we got Albuquerque. That's Albuquerque, New Mexico,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So shout out to Albuquerque, tuned in. Thank you for watching. And then Iman Ali Ahmed, proud of Yasmeen. Thank you for shedding light and advice on this important topic. So speaking of Iman, I'm sure you know about Iman and UHF. So tell us a little bit about Heal Palestine, because that's kind of how we met, right? So, you know, tell us a little bit about Heal Palestine. We came to the dinner, a beautiful dinner.
That's also where I seen you. I'm like trying
Yeah.
to like put. I was like, I know I've seen you before.
Yeah, so beautiful event, you know, and just tell us the work that Heal Palestine does too.
So we're a newer organization. The man, his name is Steve Sosby. He founded PCRF, and now he's founded a new organization called Heal Palestine, where it's a more organic outlook on helping the people of Gaza right now. We have multiple children already out of Gaza here in the States getting medical care. We're doing a lot of feeding, sheltering, clothing. Kids in Gaza right now, it's honestly very devastating. I don't think we could do enough, but I've been doing charity work for Palestine for about 13 or 14 years now. I've raised, as a community, when I say I, we have a team, over probably close to $1.5 to $2 million. We've built, pediatric oncology centers. I've hosted about 5 or 6 kids from Palestine in my home.
Yes, that's another, the one that needed the prosthetic leg. Yes.
So, I consider myself having sons in Gaza. Mu'ath is one of them. He's now 22 years old. He lost the majority of his leg to cancer when he was 6, and he stayed with me when he was 13 and 16. The latest child that was here, Saleh, lost his leg 2 years ago, actually probably 3 now, to a bombing in Gaza as well, and he stayed with us for a few months over the summer. And now I just feel guilty for letting him go home.
Did he want to go home, or did he feel comfortable?
Yeah, you have to remember he was 8 years old. That's the youngest kid I've ever cared for. The people of Gaza are different.
He looked like a character.
Their children are resilient. They're not typical. They're not American kid. Like 8-year-old American and Gaza 8-year-old is not the same.
For sure.
He was an amazing young man. Boy, actually, I shouldn't say young man. Mu'ath was a young man, but Saleh was a ball of sunshine, just literally a ball of sunshine. Watching him jump in the pool, and we took him to Cedar Point.
Okay.
Anything we did, the community fell in love with him. Mu'ath, we took to Cedar Point as well. We took him to Florida. Just amazing kids, amazing. And their resilience, if it was anyone else, they'd probably be sitting crying about themselves. And, but no, they, whatever the kids were doing, they were doing it too. If it was riding a bike, he was on a bike. It was harder for him, but so once he got his prosthetic, though, he would. At my parents' house, there was a tricycle, like an automatic one, where you had to have feet for the pedals, to the gas, and I couldn't wait to get that prosthetic so I could take him back to Ohio to my parents' house to ride that, and he was so excited because he couldn't balance otherwise. Amazing.
How does it happen? How do you pick the children, or
So the organization does. They go into the hospitals. Right now, this is what's happening. They're going into hospitals wherever they can get in. We have teams of doctors there now. They'll go into the hospitals to see who they can help.
Okay.
So we have some kids in Boston. Right now we have a girl in New York she has like 60% of her body's burned. She's going through surgeries. She has her sister with her. 2 of her brothers were martyred. There's a girl in Chicago also that needs a prosthetic. And the sad thing is people are WhatsApping me, can you help this kid? Can you help this kid? And before it was there was a few that needed to be helped. Mm-hmm. Now there's thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands of children that are missing not 1 limb, but 3 limbs. And it's just honestly devastating. But for me to survive mentally, I have to do something. That's what I've been doing for me, raising whatever money our community gathers, which our community is amazing. Ahmed here dropped off a check, and I was so excited, how many people we could help with this, how many people we could feed with this. So yeah, it's great to post on social media. I'm not saying it isn't, but for me to be able to put my head down to sleep every night and not see the bombings and the kids crying, this helped me heal a little bit. I'm not playing on Heal Palestine, but it really is helping me personally heal, to know I'm doing something. Even if I'm helping one family, even if I'm helping one child, the organization has given me that opportunity to help my people.
First of all, kudos. Give a shout out to Heal Palestine, doing great work. And by the way, that was definitely a nice little segue you did with the heel part as well.
I didn't.
You know, I just want to throw that out there.
He's really good at that.
Yeah,
too.
no, I didn't do it on purpose, but that's good.
Yeah. So listen, we can debate here about social media and how people can, how they use it. But Yasmeen had this amazing idea during COVID. I mean, maybe
It was by accident.
Okay, by accident. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
During COVID, you decided, hey, let's record Ibrahim and his interactions and stuff like that. So how did that go? And by the way, over 1 million followers on TikTok, over I think 170K on Instagram. So go ahead and give that a round of applause as well. Not easy, but tell us the story about this and how that happened.
So during COVID, right, there's so much cleaning and cooking you could do. Like I was over it. So I heard of TikTok. I downloaded it. And the first video, honestly, was me and my husband sitting on the porch having coffee. It was like stupid. It wasn't even anything. And then Ibrahim's honestly always had a fan club. So like my friends, my cousins, my family, friends all over the States. And honestly, I have friends all over the world from living overseas. And they always had, they called themselves Ibrahim's fan club. And I would post to my Snapchat, for Ibrahim's fans, just to our family and friends. So I just posted a video of Ibrahim. And like I told you, I'm very sarcastic. I made it, and I didn't know about what social media was, right? So I just made a sarcastic caption. And the people went wild with it. And it was just a video of Ibrahim. He used to wait for a very kind and sweet girl. She's a young woman now that lives down the street from us. Her name's Layla. And he would wait on her tricycle, it's an adult tricycle, and he would wait for her when she got off the bus, and he would walk her halfway home, just to the point where he's allowed to, and then come back. So
I need to know the caption because I see where you're going with this. Let's hear the caption.
What was the caption? It was like stalking the neighbor's daughter, which that's me. I'm just sarcastic. I wrote that. So of course the debate on social media, people hide behind their keyboards. Oh my God, you shouldn't let him stalk her.
Yeah.
So I had to go in and say, she's actually a friend. We love them. They love Ibrahim.
Yeah.
And then my sister-in-law did the TikTok where you are in a car and you hit the person over the head.
With him?
Yeah, and
hilarious.
he's obsessed with my brother's wife. He loves her very much, Janan, and shout out to her. She's so kind with him and she's so loving. So Janan was doing that to him, and he, people went crazy over that, So we just
Was he literal being upset?
No, he loves her. She could do whatever she wants to
Okay,
him.
that's okay.
And he's like, Janan, and they hug and they laugh and they giggle. And that went viral, and then over time posted, and they had 10 million followers. So it just kind of snowballed. It was by accident. I wish I could tell you it was done on purpose. It wasn't, but it just snowballed into an effect. And then, someone's like, oh, you should post on Instagram. So I started Instagram, and I started a Facebook, and it just snowballed from there. And there with all the ugliness in this world, there is a lot of kindness. He's gotten fan mail from Australia, from Norway. I mean, people paid $70 to just ship something to Ibrahim. Chocolates and Amazon packages and postcards and just amazing people who are very caring. And so we have to remember that even though there's this ugliness, there are good people.
You probably give so much people hope, too.
So sometimes I don't realize the amount, but when I get those messages from moms, I got one yesterday or today, both actually, she messaged back. She has a little Ibrahim, and she said her son has cerebral palsy, and what should I do? And she said, pray for me. And I'm like, you're in my dua, or people will tell me, what did you do? What can I do? So I'm always if you message me, bless you. If you message me, I will respond. As long as it's something appropriate, I will respond. Especially if it's a parent or someone who even has special needs. I have a lot of special needs people that follow us, and they'll just write "I," and I'll just like them. I'll say hi, because I really believe, and I taught my kids this. Ibrahim might be in a situation where he needs help. That's why we should be helpful to others and be kind to others, because we never know when we need it.
The good karma.
Yeah, definitely. So he's actually his own biggest fan. He watches his own videos.
Tell him he's a star. He's a star.
So yeah, I get a lot of messages. Honestly, I get a lot of. When I started posting about Palestine, I got some hate, but it's okay. I got a message the other day saying, "Oh, don't start with this SH on your stuff." I said, "If you don't like this SH, then don't follow us, because I'm Palestinian and I'm proud,
Yep.
and these are my people, and I have kids in Gaza. So if you don't want to see my story time about what's happening, you don't have to follow us."
Beautiful.
But, alhamdulillah, like the messages are always been great. His fan mail, it's amazing. Like half of these bracelets he's wearing are from people who sent them. Custom sweatshirts, custom T-shirts.
Does he realize like that he's getting these as gifts? Like, does he get excited when he opens packages?
Yeah. He sings the whole "Here's the mail, it never failed," like the Blues Clues song. And he opens them and he blows kisses, "Thank you" and "I love you," like on his own. Yeah, he loves getting packages. He loves getting presents. And someone's like, "Well, I really can't afford anything." I said, "Listen, just send a letter."
Yeah. for sure.
To open that, he loves that. Like, he's gotten. We had Air Jordan reached out to us.
Okay.
And they're like, "We noticed Ibrahim's always dressed to the nines, and we want to gift you and Ibrahim, some gear." So he got like 3-4 Jordan outfits,
Okay.
and 2 pairs of shoes. I got 2 pairs of shoes and a few outfits.
Okay.
Of course, Muhammad stole some of his, and Emily stole some of mine. But that was an amazing, gift as well. So we're very thankful, and people really pay attention because they notice what Ibrahim wears, and they'll send, they'll send him a Nike outfit, or someone made a picture of our whole family and says, "No, Mom, you can't go to the bakery," because every Sunday he goes to the Dick's Bakery. Like, we pass literally 30 bakeries to get to the South End, just to go to the Dearborn Dick's Bakery in the South End.
Why? He likes that one? That's his
Those
thing.
are his boys, and he's, and they're this is even before, mind you, all this love was before social media.
Yeah.
So every Sunday he goes with his dad, and I'm not allowed to come.
Okay. Boy time.
Except this Sunday I'm allowed to, because he knows there's no other ride because his papa's out of town. But we go in, and the men there, Khudr and his brothers, welcome him, like hug him, they kiss him. He gives his order, and he sits down, and it's all put in front of him, and I get a sip of Mountain Dew maybe, but he eats his. What do you eat? What do you eat from the bakery, Ibrahim?
Cheeseburgers and falafel.
And what do you drink?
Mom do.
And who's going to take you this Sunday?
Mom.
Oh, thank you. Are you going to share anything with me?
Yeah.
What are you going to share?
Falafel.
Oh, you're going to share. Okay, do I get my own falafel or a bite of a falafel? Just a bite? So,
We have to go at 2:00.
and we have to go where to 2:00? What is
In the
that?
ballroom
At where? And what are we going to do there?
in Greenfield.
But what is it for? The blue?
Blue Hands United.
The Blue Hands
It's
United.
in the ballroom
Yep, we're going to go
on
Sunday.
Michigan Avenue
Yep,
for community.
yep. So,
How's his memory about, like, if you tell him what you're going to do, he'll...
oh, yeah.
Okay.
So with Ibrahim, like, he needs everything to be visual. So, like I told you, I go to that class at ICD. In order for Muhammad, my son, to help him like shower, get ready for bed, I write it down on a calendar.
Nice.
Like 7:15, this has happened. 7:45, this happens. And I talk to him about it beforehand because
I got my 18th to dinner.
yeah. So he as long as he knows what's happening, he's okay. So when, like, say they have a school day where it's snowing, I have to show him the text message from the school that it's closing, so he doesn't get upset.
Okay.
So he's very visual. He can deal with the changes, but he has to see it. So I even write fake messages, not fake, but like to my husband, I'll send him, okay, this has been canceled, so we can't go, so that Ibrahim can read it. Because if I tell it to him, it's not the same.
Wow, subhanallah. I know with my students, they had a visual schedule that they could physically take the Velcro off and,
Yes.
move it, that they, that it's done. And they see what's next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, mashallah, he reads very well, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mashallah.
Yeah, that's that ABA. We did that therapy when he was 4 or 5, I think. And I remember when he started kindergarten, like, he's reading. I'm like, yeah, because I taught him.
Nice, mashallah.
It's he's always been very smart. When he was 2, he could say his alphabet, the numbers, but I didn't know at the time he was autistic. I didn't know that was his that memorization was his strong point.
Strength. One of my students would read really well, but I never knew if he comprehended. But he was in first grade, and I don't teach first grade anymore. I moved. Iman is actually the principal that I work for, so I work. I'm a fifth grade teacher there. So I wonder if we'll finally figure out if he comprehends because he could read mashallah quick and big words. He was amazing, but I didn't know if he actually understood what he was reading.
Well, Ibrahim always was good at reading, but the comprehension was difficult. So it's hard for them to answer the questions sometimes.
That's what
But he's always listening. Even though he's on the phone right now doing things, if we say a key word, he'll, yell over it. He's always listening.
Well, speaking of that, I do want Ibrahim to listen to this part right here specifically, because I just want to come on just straight up and say this, because people, that are out there listening or eventually will watch this, we tend to take when we see somebody with disabilities like a sign of weakness. But Ibrahim, I just want to tell you right now, wallah, you and everyone else is stronger than any person that I can think of in the world. I just want to let you know, seriously, you're one of the strongest people that I know, Ibrahim, and I'm proud of you, and you make me proud, and the way that you're courageous and strong, and you inspire me. And the only people that I can think of that may be stronger than you is our mothers who take care of us. So you should, I'm so happy that you said that you love your mother, because as you know, she does a lot for you.
She loves you so much too.
Your whole family as well.
Party's June 13th.
And remember that the party is June 13th as well. All right. So I just wanted to let you know that, Ibrahim, and anyone else that's listening, just know that, you have to really come to the realization that we have to have these conversations. As a community, I feel like it's devastating how we act. Talking about how people are I forgot the word. When you basically making their kids, hiding their kids. You know what I'm saying, or isolating their kids. That's the word I was looking for. When they're isolating their kids, that stuff hurts me, and they're not even on my own kids. It's so sad to see that. As teachers, it's so important for you guys to have that role as people in the classroom, because like you said, everyone watches the adults as well. So, that's one way that we can also help out, especially the educators who are seeing these kids almost 8 hours a day, to make sure that we be very inclusive with our students and stuff like that as well. So
I've even had parents tell me, do not let no one know that their child has an IEP. And I'm like, I don't have to say anything. It shows.
Yeah.
I do not have to say one word. And I'm looking at them like, are you kidding me?
I've diagnosed kids from first time meeting them.
There you go.
I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a little boy doing some things, and the mom, she's like, at first she didn't say anything. She's like, I follow you. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm thinking, why is she following me? And then I paid closer attention, and then later on she sat down. She's like, can I talk to you? I said, absolutely, you could talk to me. We were at dinner, and this dad, who's actually a doctor, came up to me, and at first I thought he was like a fan, and he said, I noticed your son has cerebral palsy, and I said, yeah. He's like, can I ask you? Can I talk to you? I go, absolutely, you can. And I thought, like I said, I thought he knew us from social media. He didn't, but he was talking to me, and we were it was during Ramadan, so we had to leave to go to the Jama. But I said, here's my Instagram, or Ibrahim's Instagram, and feel free to message me and call me. We'll talk. I've even given my number out to, especially when you have an Arabi or Muslim mom reaching out, I'm comfortable to give my phone number and be their, shoulder, or to let them vent, because sometimes even if a friend is trying to be there for you, it's harder because you're not going to understand them.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that has a beautiful daughter who has severe special needs, and
May 11 in the morning.
and she knows, even though her hardship is different than mine, she knows that I can feel with her. She knows that I can listen to her and have a slight feeling of what she's going through,
Mama,
more than someone else.
Does Trina May 11 in the morning?
I don't know yet.
May 11:50 a.m. To
Um,
what?
We'll see, because I told him we're gonna have to see what Baba says. Okay. So in the end, I think it's important for parents to reach out for help. It's really, and I'm the worst
Takes a
person.
village for.
It does, but sometimes it's hard. Even for me, my friend says, you never ask me to help you. You never ask me, because I'm always I feel like I have to be superwoman and do everything,
Right.
But sometimes you do need that help.
And sometimes you shouldn't have to ask.
No,
Just
you
saying.
Yeah, like sometimes I wish somebody would just be like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to ask, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I joke, you know, because I don't have the patience anymore for like little kids. And so I'll joke with my friend. I'm like, listen, I'll watch your kid for an hour, you know? But honestly, I would do it. Like, I don't offer it unless, you know, I had a friend that she's like, I can't take my kid because he goes into people's rooms and sits on their beds and does, you know, like goes through their things or wants to sit on his iPad in other people's houses. I said, well, bring him to my house and we'll work on it. Like, let's start, like, do something where we can work on him not doing that. And if he throws a tantrum, at least he's at my house and I'm not going to judge you.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about you.
But if you just keep him isolated forever, he never has that opportunity.
Right.
Like, even when it comes to, it makes it easier for us teachers too. When your, you know, child is already used to being in public.
Yeah.
There's kids that come and they're like in shock because they've never been around other kids. They've never been around other adults, and they're throwing tantrums and they're running out and they're, you know, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's amazing to give him like a little, you know, wiggle room to practice.
Yeah, I mean, because it's hard for us to take our kids to someone's house who doesn't know. You know, another friend came over and her kid wanted to keep going in the pantry, you know, where the snacks are. And I was like, listen, just let him do what he wants. Like, not to that point. Like, I'm not going to let, even if I don't care.
You're
if
not
he's
going to
special needs,
enable.
You're not going to walk around my house with Cheetos, you know what I mean? But he can go in the pantry and sit at the kitchen table and have whatever he wants. Like, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to talk. Because Ibrahim will walk in and maybe go in somebody's freezer and see what ice cream they have. And I'll get all upset. But now I don't put myself in anyone's home that isn't going to accept my child anyways.
And shout out to you because, like, mashallah, like, you're not just like, oh, I already have enough on my plate. I'm not going to worry about anyone else or any other kids. And you're like the sweetest thing in the world, mashallah.
I'm
And
not.
she's housing people for like
no, like,
months.
your heart is really big. Like, there's people that have big hearts, but yours is Allahumma barik. Like, it's enormous.
Listen, those are all selfish things. What I do are selfish. First of all, for Allah, right? And second of all, for like to feel better about what happened, you know, what's happening with these kids. I know people see it as a big deal that I'll have Ibrahim that special needs and I'll bring in a child from Palestine and have them. I don't see them because if we're not doing these things, we're Muslim. This is our job. We're mothers. This is our job. We're sisters. We're aunts. We're daughters. This is our job. And if Allah gives you the opportunity, try, do it. And I'm not perfect. And I tell parents, you know, because social media, you know, you don't believe everything you see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like your best.
But
But we're very organic. Like, unless we're doing an ad for someone, like, it's a little practice, you know, but Ibrahim only will go so much. Like, I had someone say, can you tell him to say this? I'm like, that doesn't not how it works with Ibrahim. This is as much as we're going to get, you know? And I try to do everything organic. But social media is different than real life.
absolutely.
There's times where he's throwing a fit, and he's 6'2", and he can throw a punch. Him and Hamed, my other son, like, where he'll get upset, and Muhammad's trying to stop him, and he'll swing at Muhammad, and Muhammad's got to block him. You know, like, these are not.
What gets him really mad? Like, what is like that, you know? Like,
Sometimes
not like
you
it.
don't know. Sometimes you don't know that switch. Sometimes it's a change in the routine.
Yeah.
And in Ibrahim, when he goes into that tantrum, it's not him anymore. You know?
Mama,
No.
don't you have secretary?
Yes.
What time?
So it's the tantrum is not fun to watch. It's scary. He's a big kid. Has he hit me? Yes. Has he hurt me? Yes. My youngest son, when he was growing up, if he would cry, because Ibrahim cannot stand kids crying, I tell him, you know what, Jamil, you know what you need to do. Go in your room and close the door, because he does, you know, I don't know what he'll do. You know, I had friends, we were at someone's house for Ramadan, and the little boys were messing with him. They're just trying to play with him, but
Yeah.
Thank you, doctor.
you have to be careful. And I told the kids, I'm like, listen, Ibrahim can hurt you. I know he's sweet, but if that switch goes off, he's hard. He can be difficult. We do a lot of breathing exercises. You know, we sit down, we take deep breaths. I have to tell him good hands. Sometimes I'll have to give him something to calm him. It happens less. It started when he was like 18. And then now it's not as much. Alhamdulillah, we've controlled it. But there is a dark side, right? There's a dark side we don't want to talk about. There's a dark side I don't want to post about. like when, this infatuation with these glasses. He does not wear glasses.
I was gonna say this.
These are fashion glasses.
Okay.
And he puts them on every morning like he can't see without them.
I love it.
So when we were in Florida, they broke.
Oh.
I was like, oh God, right? And he was very upset. So I put him in my purse, and I had to learn the lesson because they broke at my cousin's house, and he had a fit. And then when we got home, he had a new pair. So he was okay. So I made sure to order more off of Amazon. I threw them in the drawer. So when we were in Florida, when it broke, I was able to tell him, like, listen, what's in your drawer in your room? He goes, glasses. I said, okay, we're going to put the broken glasses in my purse, and they're going to stay there because I can't fix them. And he was able to know that eventually he's going to get home and he's going to get it. So we literally came in at a 3:00 a.m. flight, and he went straight to his room to pull out the glasses. He opened them and he put them on his dresser.
Ready to go when he wakes up.
So when he wakes up, he could see, which...
So I know this is a little off topic, but you said no Cheetos around your house. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, I'm just messing around.
No, yeah. Oh, no, he does it. I find ice cream. This kid, be buckets of ice cream for the morning. If we're sleeping and he's up, he's got a
likes
whole
ice
bucket of
cream.
ice cream,
I
for
love ice
breakfast.
cream too.
And then I'll post that, and, it's so funny. And everyone's like, it's milk, it's milk. He's fine.
All right. So
What's his favorite ice cream?
Chocolate.
like chocolate?
Yeah.
Do you put like syrup or anything else on it, or just straight chocolate?
Syrup.
Syrup. There you go. Wassam Fakouri. I hope I said that right. Yasmeen Ibrahim are an amazing and inspiring mother-son duo. Then Sarah Hamed. I'm sure she's related, right?
No, she's not. She's just a good friend.
Oh, there you go. Well, I guess she's not. Yasmeen, you're an amazing human. May Allah bless you with the continuous efforts you put inside and outside the home.
Thank you.
So
all these people are my backbone. They're my support. They're my friends. From Musa to Sara to Wissam to my sister. I had to have a really hard phone call with my sister years ago. When I was always worried about when my iman was low. When I was, and I still worry, don't think I don't, about, what ifs. I called my sister and I could barely get it out. And I told her, I'm like, if something ever happens to me, I'm not asking you to take Ibrahim, even though I would love for her to, because there's no one like a sister. I said, but just always make sure that he's somewhere safe. Make sure he's somewhere, he's not being hurt, and that he's being taken care of. And that was very difficult. I was talking to some friends today, and I was telling them that, like, I never sat and told my kids, hey, like, if something happens to me and your dad, now my kids are a little bit older, but they still have their own lives. I said, I didn't tell them, hey, you have to take care of Ibrahim. Alhamdulillah, they've done it on their own, but I was in the mall with Muhammad and Emily, and they were kind of like going ping-ponging back and forth about who's going to have Ibrahim. And they're like, Muhammad's like, oh, I'm going to have him, so we're going to be doing this. And Emily's like, no, he's going to want to be with me. And that gave me a little bit of relief.
Yeah, for sure.
A little bit of relief. I hope Allah leaves me and his dad, of course. But it's nice to know that I've helped create a community for Ibrahim, that he's always going to be loved.
100%.
And that he'll always be taken care of to a certain expect. Like I said, I don't have control over it, only Allah does. But I know that I've created a community that will always ask about Ibrahim.
So you'll know he's safe.
That I'll know he's safe. And not that I'm saying, like, they don't have to take him in, even though I hope somebody would, God forbid. But just to know that he is loved and he's well and he's not being hurt. And this is a fear. And a goal is, maybe as he gets older, is I can help create a home for Muslim young adults. This is something our community should work on, because God knows we have plenty of people who have special needs. Maybe a home where, after the parents are too old to take care of their kids. I know I've talked about it with one of a friend of mine who has a son who has special needs. I said, maybe later on down the line, we work on something that our boys have a home of their own, and we put in good people to take care of our kids.
That's a beautiful idea.
That is a great idea. Aisha Saila, mashallah, I have no words for you. Selfless beyond measure. So
They make me sound so good. I'm not that good.
Which sibling does he like the best? Like, what do you say he gravitates to?
How would you say that?
Listen, I'm
yeah,
just
no,
like,
she
no.
can't answer that
no,
question.
because
No,
they
it's
do
cool.
like.
Hey,
Listen,
dude, this here
I've
mic.
Man, they're gonna be
no,
watching
no,
it right
yeah.
now. They're probably watching
No,
it live.
no, it's okay. You know what? It's funny. His relationship with each of his siblings is very unique.
okay. See,
Muhammad is his like.
She saved you.
No, she's fine. Wallah, she's fine. Muhammad is unique because Muhammad's, since he was born, he's been his brother's keeper. If you offered Muhammad a sucker when he was little, he said, I need one for my brother. He won't take it without taking for his brother. So he's always been his brother's keeper. And he's my right hand, Muhammad, you know, in the aspects of if I'm not home, the hygiene, you know, he'll help Ibrahim shower. He knows how to talk to him. He knows how to work with him. And then my daughter, Emily, is the mother. When I'm not, you know, if I'm traveling or whatnot, Emily knows like what Ibrahim likes to eat. She knows how to, you know, in those aspects. She does the feeding, the making sure he's got what he needs, packing of the lunch, stuff like that. Jamil and him, they're different because Jamil's 12 and he's 24. Yeah. So I'm teaching Jamil more now. Like, okay, you need to, you know, Ibrahim, I can't trust Ibrahim to eat alone because he doesn't chew. So we're always feared that he might choke. So I told him, Ibrahim likes to eat his food outside. He loves being outside. I said, Jamil, Ibrahim's outside eating his dinner. Can you sit with him while he eats? You just play basketball while he eats. And he'll do it. So each child, but he knows how to mess with each one.
he knows her buttons, huh?
He's always in Emily's room eating her candy. He locks himself in her room to mess with her. He'll go use her bathroom even though he knows he's not supposed to. Like, he knows what he's doing. So he really messes with Emily the most.
This is crazy.
Usually when you mess with one of
Yeah, he's probably the
The sister. It's the one sister, Hazina.
So I asked that because my student, he was obsessed with this blonde girl in my classroom. He would that's the only person that he would allow to hold his hand. Because I can't hold his hand all the time, you know? And I'm like, okay, you pick her. I'm telling you, like, it was the cutest thing in the world, but and then I got to the end of the year when I would have her also help him, like, get his stuff out of his locker, and he would only want her. It was either me or her. That's it. So I was like, fantastic. They usually do, like,
oh, yeah.
cling on to us.
Ibrahim's definitely a woman's man. He's a ladies' man. We have prom, the Fortson Club, and my cousin heads it. Her name's Iman Nora. She's a teacher there. She's been doing a special needs prom for the past, I don't know how many years, honestly. I should know. But Ibrahim loves it. He gets dressed up in his suit, his tie, and all his friends are there. And he dances with all the girls, even dances with his guy friends that he knows. What are you going to do at prom, Ibrahim? What are you going to do at prom?
Dance with girls.
Listen.
Dance with girls.
Dance with girls. So the funny thing is, my other son's like, why is he allowed to? I'm like, he's allowed to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's his world. We're just living in it.
Yeah, it is really his world, and we're all living in it. I get a lot of people, some of the hate comments will be, oh, you spoil him and you let him do whatever he wants. And I'm like, you know what? I live by the words my husband told me when he was first diagnosed, as long as he's happy.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, like, that's our goal, is just to make Ibrahim happy and you know, we're in it for the ride like everybody else.
For sure. Does he like traveling?
He does well traveling. Okay. He doesn't like too much, but he does well.
Because it's out of routine.
Yeah, and there's actually a video we posted one time when we were in Florida during a couple years ago. We had a really bad storm, if you remember, during Christmas, and we got stuck in Florida, which I don't think that's a bad thing, but to him it was. So I found him on the phone of the hotel telling the concierge that we're stuck here, we're not leaving, you know. So, but he did okay. I had to write some text messages, and we had to show him the itinerary, that it's changed and all that. But you know, he does well traveling, and it's funny, wherever we go, he gets recognized.
Wow, mashallah.
Turn that off, please.
Mashallah. Izzy Hamed? Izzy?
What is that?
Izzy Hamed. Do you know an Izzy Hamed or no? Is that his YouTube channel or something like that or no?
No.
Okay, because they deleted it, so I was wondering if that was a sibling that was probably gonna be upset that you favored that maybe the sister was the best one. I don't know if they were just gonna. But the message was deleted. So
Oh, what did they say?
It was deleted. It was.
Oh,
deleted. Yeah,
okay.
I didn't catch it.
Like,
I
he's over here just trying to
I was
find
I was
some,
just wondering if they like messaged as soon as you said like maybe he loves.
No,
his
no, that's
sister
not.
the
I
most.
don't. I don't. Might be a family relative. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
All right. They probably got offended. Like, I mean, it's like me asking you who's your favorite sibling and why is it
Like I
me? You
told
know what I'm saying?
Sometimes they prefer, like she said, he prefers different people for different things.
Yeah, he's very smart in the way that he knows what each one of his siblings is capable of doing for him.
Yeah.
You know, like he knows Muhammad, if none one's available, he can go for a ride with Muhammad. He knows if he wants to eat something and I'm not there, Emily's there to help him. You know, it's funny. He thinks when me and my husband leave or I leave the house that he's taking care of the kids.
That's
He's
so
like,
funny.
I'm going to babysit. I'm going to watch them. Or if I leave, he's like, okay, Mom, don't worry. I'll take care of Baba. I'm like, okay, you take care of Baba, you know? So he thinks,
He's booked and busy.
I know, he's reading through all my WhatsApp. He thinks every protest and every dinner that we're going to go to that.
Yeah, that's funny. So going on to the next question, which is pretty much the final one, is advice. You know, I know you kind of touched on this throughout the show. You kind of gave quick tidbits, but maybe we can like put it into one nice big advice, and that is for any families out there who has a loved one who may have a disability, but are struggling with basically addressing it and maybe accepting it. I guess what advice would you tell that family? And I know you mentioned that it's different for everyone, but I guess, I don't know, best advice you could give.
I think a lot of times parents are in denial about their child's special needs. I think the sooner you get to acceptance, the sooner you can help that child. The core time to help kids is like before they're 5 or 6. And then that's even for typical children. You know, the main grasp of language and social awareness is that time. So I think that the quicker you get to an acceptance and you get them help, and even get your self-help. You know, you always have to have that me time. You have to take care of yourself, take care of your marriage, take care of your other relationships, your other children. It's really hard to balance it all. Honestly, I think that's the key word is balance. Someone's like, well, what do your other kids get mad? I said, no, because I try to find time for each one. You know, I try, we got soccer with Jamil. So sometimes it's just me and him doing those rides to his soccer games. Emily, the shopping trips or the late night conversations, or Muhammad, the same thing. Like, when he comes in the room and wants us talking, I'll listen. Now, those 22-year-olds don't talk much anymore, but, I try to do that. So it's a lot of time is just trying to break down, and try to give each child their time, because, sometimes we do focus too much on that one, and they need that intention. But you still have to find me time. Come to an acceptance. Try to surround yourself with people who are supportive, and most importantly, educate yourself about your rights as a parent and as a child. I used to go. We do these IEPs. You brought up IEPs earlier. I didn't realize when he was much younger, a lot of the stuff that was being done was illegal. And it's not till and I'm an American born and I'm educated. I didn't know, because there's never a class on, hey, how to be a special needs mom or a special needs dad. So it's important to educate yourself, take those extra classes. Like even now, Ibrahim's 24. His school is having like a parent night every month and bringing a different speaker. So now when I get the flyer, I say, okay, is this something I want to educate myself in? So they have someone coming in to talk about trusts and wills. And that's really hard as a parent to want to do, and I've been in denial. I've been talking about doing it since he was 18, and I still have yet to do it. But
For him or?
So for him, to create a will,
That is
to create a will, and set him up in a trust fund. And you can't do a typical trust fund for a special needs person. There has to be a special one. You need to go to a specific lawyer that knows how to do it, and that takes time. It takes money, and it takes more than that. It takes your mental.
Yeah.
You're basically saying, okay, when I die, this is what I want to happen. When I die, this person will be the trustee of my child. And that's not easy, You have to pick someone that you think knows your child best. And my kids are great, but my son's still young. He hasn't really started his life, per se. And to saddle him with that responsibility is a big deal.
Yeah, it's like,
So-
I feel like, is it fair? Is it not fair?
Exactly. And, then I think, okay, who else knows him? And I think about my brother, who knows Ibrahim very well. And and I told you he loves his wife already. So it's something that I have to sit and talk with him. Like, are you okay with me putting you as a trustee? You'll be in charge of making sure the financial thing is good, where he's at is good. If there's something he needs money for, you'll be the one to process it. So there's so much into it. And as a parent, it's very difficult to put yourself in that mindset to have to make those decisions.
100%.
Just that conversation alone is difficult too to have with other people as well. So I can only imagine that. Well, listen, first of all, Yusuf, can you give this whole conversation a round of applause? Like, I feel like we got an education. We got some funny stories. We even we had Ibrahim and his amazing answers as well. Ibrahim, you did a great job, by the way. I know it's not, heck, any of us sitting down for an hour and a half, we could definitely be antsy. So,
yes, for sure.
Before we give final words and final stuff, shout out to Yasmeen and Ibrahim. Very important conversation we had today. And so we're very thankful for them. And as you can tell from the people as well, I was listening, they appreciate you for having a conversation as well. Again, you can follow us on all of our socials, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under ozmedia. You'll be able to listen to this show later on Apple and Spotify podcasts under ozmedia. Shout out to the sponsors, the Balkan House, Juice Box, Kahwa House, BC Adhesives, Specialty Medical Center, and Hanley International Academy. I'll start off from right to left. Sada, final words, final comments.
It was an honor and pleasure to meet you two. You are so cool. I want to be your best friend. Yeah.
If he allows it.
Right. And may Allah contribute all the ajr and tenfold it, for sure.
Thank you.
For me, it's, again, keep up the great work. And Yasmeen, you have a family, not just myself. Right. You have a whole family here. We are here to support you in any way possible. Any future events, anything that we can do to help or assist, feel free to give us a shout out or a shout or whatever, and we'll be here for you. So just know that. And Ibrahim, I hope you got a whole new family of friends that are here to support you. And we love what you're doing. And like I said earlier, you're one of the strongest human beings that I know.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
keep being strong for all of us, Ibrahim.
Keep being doing
There you go.
I need to give him some chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
I just want to say that, there's moms and there's super moms.
Yeah.
And you are definitely a super mom. Mm-hmm. And I can just tell that he, not that you weren't a great person, but I can 100% tell that he makes you even a better person. Yeah. And Allahumma barik, Allah does love you. And like I said, you're going to heaven. I already keep saying that, but
we'll see you there.
Allahumma barik. And inshallah, nothing but blessings. And, Allah keeps you guys protected.
Thank you.
I'm strong.
Thank you guys for having us. ozmedia, I was, subhanAllah, the way we met, doing good. And inshallah, you'll continue to do good. This opportunity to talk to you guys and hopefully maybe make a small difference, even if it's one person. And I really believe that, even if it's just one person. I just think that, we've grown so much as a community. Inshallah, we continue to grow. And if there's a parent out there that wants to, message me or needs to talk, I'm here. I'm not perfect. I thank you for the compliments, but it's hard for me to hear them because we're always striving to be better. And I'm not perfect, Mom. I have no patience most of the time. I'm always raging somehow, some way. But alhamdulillah, like Ibrahim has made me a stronger person, I think, than I ever would have been. And I'm thankful for him because he is. Maybe I was going to be a very narcissistic person, maybe too into this dunya. And he's made me open my eyes to a lot more. And I'm lucky, and I thank Allah for giving him to me and blessing him, blessing our family and our community and anybody we've come into contact. It's been a blessing, alhamdulillah. And thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you. And Ibrahim, you got anything you want to say? Final words? Final thing you want to say to people out there?
Mom.
He's worried about where he's going to go. What? What do you want you to say? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
There you go. That's awesome.
And you look so nice with your glasses.
Okay, you're welcome.
We're not done yet.
But I just want to say this, Yasmeen, how can people, maybe you want to throw out your social media followings and how people reach you maybe?
Definitely. So like I said, it wasn't planned that we became like this thing. So we have different handles for... Instagram.
Mama.
Wait 1 second. Instagram, it's Ibrahimo_Hamed. TikTok, it's yhamed722. And Facebook, it's Ibrahim Hamed. So hit me up on any of them. Follow us. Message me, DM me. And if you have a question or you just need someone to listen to or to bounce ideas off of, I'm here to advocate for you or pray for you, whatever it is that these parents need or caregivers, I'm here. So I'm not perfect. I try my best, and I can be of help with whatever I can. I'll try.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you all for listening and watching. If you are eventually going to watch it later, we hope that you enjoyed this whole conversation. I know I learned a few things as well. And, biggest thing is also we gained a partnership/relationship with this great family right here. So we look forward to working with them in the future. Again, this was season 3, episode 28 of Motivate Me 313's podcast. We hope you have a great rest of your week. NFL draft begins tomorrow in downtown Detroit. Be sure to stop by there, swing by and see how that goes as well. And we'll see you all next